how do you find time to write or to compose, to be creative? Do you set, let's say, an hour this specific day? How is your time management?
Yeah, it's really, I am a little bit of a work before play kind of person, and I consider the writing the play. That is a personal indulgence because, for one thing, it requires solitude on my part. So it has to do with scheduling things around it. Right now, we are, as a technical matter, what we call here in America, empty nest. Our daughter is in college, so I now have daylight hours where I can be doing some writing. Whereas in years past, I do remember putting the kids to bed, pouring a large soda for some caffeine, and then sitting up till 2 in the morning and writing, because that was the way I could find the time to do it. So where there's a will, there's a way. And right now, it is really about enjoying the solitude and appreciating it when I have it. And for instance, I've got some travel alone coming up soon. I absolutely I plan to spend that time writing. So I will make a constructive use out of having to sit perhaps in an airport or an airplane. I can do some writing then.
Yeah, actually, airplane trips are great for that because they are
Yes.
boring. There's nothing you can do there. Maybe you can have a chat if the person next to you it's something, someone entertaining, but that's a matter of luck. Maybe the person will fall asleep.
Yes.
Maybe the person is not in the mood. Because I like the chats when I'm traveling, and that's
I
something
do
that you
too.
can use it later
Yes.
on.
Yes, because time flies, you get so absorbed in the creative process, all of a sudden a 3-hour flight is gone in a heartbeat. And so that is a wonderful bit of time travel.
Yes, yeah, 100%, 100%. I just want to mention that too in terms of intersection. Like I published a book with 25 prose poems, and are inspired in a Irish painter called Harry Kernoff. So it's also an intersection between painting or draws and poetry. So basically, what I did is I picked 25 poems, and I just started to write a poem inspired, on what I was seeing, and I found that very, very fascinating because it opens avenues that you didn't know they exist. Like probably without that painting, you wouldn't know about that thought. You wouldn't get into certain conclusion. You wouldn't be aware of certain parts of yourself. So it's a discover that doesn't happen only through you, but with some support. And I think it's a great advantage. Like I recommend that for every single artist, whether it's on writing, whether it's on the visual side of arts. It's fascinating.
Yeah, that's cool. And the creative process itself is fascinating. So on my Linktree, which is accessible through my website and on my social media, there's an article in particular about it's a concept from the 70s on the creative process. And I really dove deep into that, and I wrote an article that I'm so pleased to have done it because I think that the concept was a great one and it deserved to have a voice and somebody championing it. And the really cool thing is when you think back to even classical mythology and the idea of Athena bursting fully grown from the skull of Zeus, I mean, that is a manifestation of creativity, is that it is a fully formed, matured thing that explodes out of the mind. And so we have been using illustrative speech, again, writing with pictures, drawing with words to explain these very things.
Yeah, actually, as you were talking, it just came to my mind. William Blake, I think he's a good example of
Yes.
writing and drawing, and
Yes.
of the dialogue between the two. And
Yes.
he was some genius, probably not the most well-behaved person, going back to the beginning
Right.
of the conversation. So
Yeah, we're
let's cancel
circling back
William
to
Blake.
that too. I'm sure. That's true.
Maybe next time I go to the library, I won't be able to find William Blake books anymore. Or if there is one, I'm going to steal it just in case the civilization does something wrong. So guys, wherever you are listening, if you see a William Blake book, take care of it, because you never know where will that
That's right.
land in the next 5 or 10 years. Just
Cherish
some
those
appeal
books.
for the audience. Yeah.
Yes.
And the same with Kim and Schultz. For everyone that is listening to us, I think I'm going to be very frank. I haven't read yet, but now that I talk to you, I'm going to feel very guilty if I don't read it. Now it's not going to happen next week, not going to happen next month, because you know yourself as an avid reader, you have a long queue, but your book will join the queue, and hope I
Awesome.
will be able to read it and talk to you about it.